Hi everyone, my name is Jamie Ratcliffe and I will be presenting Chapter 11, People, Services, and Service Quality and How Do We Get There? And I am from your Marketing for Hospitality class from the summer of 2017. People are really important in the hospitality industry, and I think it's important to talk about, so let's get started. So you have your guest and your host. Your guest is counting on your host to be there, and your guest and host should be interrelated by relationship marketing. Creating a relationship with a guest is important because it creates long-term relationships with that guest. The host also needs to be empowered and looked to for anything the guest might need. So right now I'm just going to go over the chapter a little bit, just a little chapter outline for you guys. So it first talks about total quality management, and the total quality management pyramid includes management commitment, focus on the customer and employee, continuous improvements, focus on the facts, and everybody's participation. So management must be committed to create a quality service. You must focus on the customer and the employee. The customer and the employee are equal in how they should be treated. In continuous improvements, you don't want to go down, you want to always go up. You want to focus on the facts. You don't want to go just on hunches, and everybody's participation. If everybody is participating, then you actually have a good quality thing going for you. Okay, so employees, managing internal customers for service quality. So, effective orientation steps. So you want to prepare all paperwork, you want to provide an agenda, you want to inform coworkers of a new employee. I think this is one of the essential steps because you want to make sure the employee is very, very comfortable in the situation they're in. And then also, you want to send essential details before the first meeting so they're organized as well as you are. And you want to spread out the program 2 or 3 days. You also want to give take-home material and have new employees create evaluation forms. So spreading out the program 2 or 3 days makes it easier for an employee to grasp how you're going to go about working with them, and it doesn't just throw them into the mix. Alright, so you want to motivate and recruit staff. How you do this is communication, rewarding, selecting objectives, and using management staff who are honest, open, and willing to listen to employees. So maintaining regular communications is so important. And rewarding is important because you want to make sure the employee feels good, and you want to recruit the staff, and you want to make sure that they feel that they're needed in the organization. So empowering staff to deliver guest satisfaction. So you want a more responsive service, and you want guest complaints to be dealt with quickly. You want greater customer satisfaction, more repeat guests, and a well-motivated staff. So if you have a more responsive service, you're in turn going to have better reviews. Guest complaints dealt with quickly. You might not even hear about the complaint in management, but it definitely needs to be taken care of. More repeat guests. It's better to have repeat guests than trying to get new ones. That has always been the case. And then a well-motivated staff. You always want to motivate your staff to do better, and you want to make sure that that creates guest satisfaction. All right, and then staff behavior, appearance, and uniforms. So improvements in uniform, recognition and reward programs, employee of the month, sales and guest relations training programs, orientation programs on marketing plan and objective and activities, communication mechanisms, and other internal programs and activities. So internal marketing programs. So senior management participation. Integrated organizational structures, strategic marketing approach, human resource partnership. Now I want to stop and talk about this a little bit. So human resource partnership is how you find your employees, how you keep your employees, how you make sure the employee is good for your type of company. And if you have a good human resource management and partnership with your employees, you in turn will increase your service quality by immense amounts. You also want to focus on employee engagement. So you want to make sure the employee feels engaged in the company. You want to make sure that they are important and feel important to the company. Because they're not just an employee. They really want to be. They want to make a difference. People do want to make a difference. So just keep that in mind. Internal brand communication. You want to make sure that your brand is communicated very heavily, because when you do that with branding, you create a sense of, oh, that's where I want to go. That's where I know. I've heard that's a good company, and so on and so forth. So, measuring service quality. ServQual is a really known survey, but measuring service quality is always good, because word of mouth marketing is huge in this industry. And if you have surveys that say that you're a bad company, then you're probably not going to get much much business or much recognition or good reviews. So you definitely want to get your reviews up there. You don't want them to be low. So relationship marketing. So you want to manage service encounters, you want to provide customer incentives, you want to develop pricing strategies, maintain a customer database, communicating with customers through direct or specialized media. So relationship marketing is loyalty programs. Loyalty programs include things like making sure you're a member of something, making sure you feel belonged, and you're more likely to use a product or service that you know, rather than a new service. So if you're a member, like if you go to King Soopers, then you're a member, and you have incentives like gas points, then you'll go there instead of going to Safeway. It's been used for years. It's based on the facts, as talked about earlier in this chapter, and facts are very, very important. Maintaining a customer database that shows where they would like to go, where they would like to have, if they like discounts, if they are old, if they are young, if they need a discount, if they don't need a discount, things like that. And it develops pricing strategies as well. So, all right, so getting to my question. My question was, you have been hired at a hotel, restaurant, travel agency, airline, or other hospitality and travel organization with a reputation of below average service. Your task is to significantly upgrade the service orientation and service quality of supervisors and other staff members. What steps would you follow in satisfying this objective? Draw on examples of successful organizations in the travel industry. Try to come up with 2 or more creative ideas on your own. So it's actually really funny that I got this question because I work at a La Quinta downtown and it's property 318 out of 318. So we definitely need to improve our service quality and we definitely need to improve other things as well. So, what steps would you follow in satisfying this objective? So I said I would focus on internal marketing, staff recruitment, selection, orientation and training, motivating and retaining staff, empowering staff to deliver guest satisfaction, staff behavior, appearance, and uniforms. So each potential candidate for any position in Four Seasons Hotels has to pass through 5 interviews, and the final one was with the general manager. So that's an extensive process to recruit and select your employee. And it makes sense to have different interviews because you want to know if that person's going to act the same, if they truly want the job, if they truly fit your organization. In the Marriott, if you stick with it for 25 years, you can actually become really and get great incentives, like things including free hotel rooms, which is crazy good incentive because sometimes you are in a company and you say, well, why am I here? Why am I doing this? And if you're waiting to get free hotels for the rest of your life, I mean, that's a pretty good incentive. And in the meantime, you can get discounted rooms and health benefits as well. And then the Four Seasons Hotels, management pays a lot of attention to empowerment because it helps to increase the level of service. And in addition, it makes the employees feel more responsible and important to the company. So, the unique ways I would improve La Quinta Inns and Suites. So, I would create a 5-minute meeting every day. A 5-minute meeting includes revenues, things like what we can do that day, objectives we can have that day, and many other things that we just need to include. It makes the employee feel included. It makes the management feel better connected with its employee, and it empowers them both to get done what they need to get done that day. So I think that would be one way to do that. Extensive hiring process. I drew this from the Four Seasons, how they have 5 different people interviewing somebody. I don't think 5 is really needs to be the number, but I think 2 interviews would be better than 1 because I was only interviewed once. So if you hire somebody twice, you can see if they have any discrepancies between the 2. So empowerment jar is one of them. An empowerment jar is something like I kind of thought about on my own. So like an empowerment jar, you could just, or an empowerment board or something to that effect, you could just put quotes in a jar and they'd be color coded or something like that. And you would just pull it out and it would be like determination for red, encouragement for green. And you just pull them out when you needed a little bit of encouragement to know that you can do this and you are going to be able to get through the day. So the reason these things are important for service quality is I just want to get this across is that when you have a happy employee, you have a happy guest. When you have people not quitting, you have better reviews, you have better surveys, you have better just better communication overall. And when you have a good relationship between your manager and your employee and you try to increase that by incentives, then you create a whole different kind of world. And here's my works cited. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy, and